Good afternoon, race fans, and welcome here as we get ready to celebrate the 8th anniversary of the NNSCRA Sports and Gaming YouTube channel. We get ready here today to celebrate it with the running of the 8th anniversary NNSCRA special event race here today. That was a very terrible way of presenting the name of this race, but nonetheless, we are here today at a track that has quite a bit of historical significance in the NNSCRA channel. This is Trenton Speedway. This track is a mile and a half, I can't talk, a mile and a half in length. Can you tell I'm a little out of practice of doing this? It's a mile and a half in length, but it's got a little bit of a uniqueness to it because on the back straightaway, it's in a boomerang shape. Come off of turn 2, you head to about a 45-degree angle turning left, then it turns into a 45-degree angle turning right before you get over to a normal turns 3 and 4. So I guess if you're looking at this from an aerial view, kind of think of a kidney bean, and that's what this track is shaped like. So these drivers are going to have to tackle that very different back straightaway here today. And of course, there's no points on the line. It's a special event race, so these drivers will be going at 110% all race long, trying to pick up the victory here because there's only going to be one winner and 41 losers. As J Gardner will line up on the pole position for this race alongside of Z Winkle. We've got a lot of names in this field, some of them old, some of them new, a lot of experience, a lot of drivers with maybe limited experience in the channel. Let's go down trackside and get the command.
Drivers, start your engines!
Well, we bring in the old, and we bring in a little something new. Trenton played host to the Oreo Open and the Mobile Open back in Season 1 of the Oreo Truck Series and Mobile One Cup Series. Now, why we didn't hold the All-Star races here, I don't know. The All-Star races were actually held at Zenjoltis, so that was a little bit unusual. And this took place back in 2011. As a matter of fact, it took place about 7 months after the channel first aired its first race here on YouTube. So Trenton became a very special track in my heart as it ended up also becoming the headquarters for NNSCRA Corporation. We ended up calling this NNSCRA's home track. Why it didn't play host to more races than it did, I'm not really sure, but that was the case. It only held 2 races here in its history. And so with that being said, I decided we're going to bring it back here 8 years later, and we're going to hold the special event race here for the 8th anniversary of the NNSCRA YouTube channel. It'll be 95 laps of racing here today, and we are running the 2019 rules package in these trucks, so we'll see how the draft comes into play. And what's the newest thing we're adding? Well, we are having for you guys the first time a race broadcasted here and recorded on my new computer with good frames for the first time and possibly forever. Green flags in the air, let's race at Thornton! J Gardner takes the early lead. It'll be interesting to see if this race comes down to pit strategy or will we see a number of cautions, because like I said, there's no points on the line, so these drivers will more than likely be willing to make risky moves that they normally wouldn't make if points were on the line. Gardner's going to get away, and I want to show you guys one of my favorite camera angles here. Look at this, coming to the start-finish line, this kind of a aerial view, watching them fly on by. This track's got some beautiful camera angles here as you see them sweep out of turn 2. And down the boomerang for the first time. Actually, no, the second time they go down the boomerang, and they've been doing pretty good making it through there, but you see them go through there usually 3 wide, and that's a little bit treacherous, especially when you get down into the turn 2 area. Almost a little contact there. It's a battle on for second between Jesse Turner and the 17, the 16 of Dallas McIntosh. That brings the 21 of N Ormond into this battle, as well as the 2 of Z Flickinger. I thought I saw a truck have a little bit of an issue at the start of this race trying to get down to the apron. As William Brock, Corey Williams run here at the back. I'm going to double check and see if we've gotten a driver out of the race because it looked like somebody was trying to get to pit road at the very start of this event. And, okay, whoever it was, I'm not exactly sure who it was, but everybody is still running, still on the lead lap. So I'm not sure what I saw back there. It looked like they were 3 wide on the grid going through the boomerang, but everybody did take the green and is still running. So that's at least good news. And we've got a bit of a stack up back here. What happened here? Are we under caution? We might be under caution. I think some of these drivers may have already crossed the line before the caution came out, and other drivers had not yet crossed the start-finish line. Yeah, we are under caution as heading into it out of turn 4. So Johnny Gardner's coming back to hit the line to put us under the yellow flag for the first time today. From the 91 on back, I think they had already crossed or had not yet crossed the line when the caution flew, and so they were already backing down their speed for pacing. That's Jacob Thibodeaux in the 91. Z Winkle there as well, and Adam Garcia and others, and now they're going to catch up to this group. See the 15 of Carter Joey there. Don't know if he was involved in the wreck or not. I think I saw him just coming off pit road as he is scored in 41st, and there is a car on pit lane, or a truck on pit lane I should say. Angel Olvera just now hitting pit lane. And whoever the other truck was that I saw, it wasn't Angel Olvera. There was another truck on pit road, and it looks like they may have retired out of the race. Looks like everybody's going to come to pit road here, as they may not get much opportunity under caution. Johnny Gardner leads them on down, so as they take the opportunity here for this first pit stop of the day, under our first caution of the day, let's go back and see what happened out of turn 4. Here it was coming off of turn 4. That's Carter Joey there in the 15. Angel Olvera is going to get to his inside. There's the 33 of Austin LaPlante, the 42 of Dylan Young, and they might have been... No, I thought they might have gone 4 wide, but they were actually 3 wide. The contact already begins there between Joey and Olvera. And then Joey gets turned down into Austin LaPlante. That spins the 33 around. Ooh, Carter Joey got a pretty good hit there into the outside wall. Then gets clipped again in the left rear by LaPlante. And over on the right side of the screen is Dylan Young and Angel Olvera. There's Olvera. Olvera actually, I don't think, stopped in his pit stall. I think he had to go down pit lane, and as a consequence, that's why we saw him on pit road. He had to serve a pass-through, as he was definitely not at pit road speed. And there is Dylan Young up against the inside wall. Let's see what happened between him and the 44. We already saw what happened with the 15 and the 33. So there's the contact. Looks like Angel Olvera just kind of pushes up off the corner. Gets into the left rear corner panel of Carter Joey. Oh, and then right there, Dylan Young was also pushing up off the corner, and he gets into the left side door of Angel Olvera. Dylan Young spins around. Watch the 44. Let's see if he makes any contact with that inside safer barrier. Oh, yeah, just a bit right there with the left front. I don't think Dylan Young made any contact with the wall. He gets onto the grass here, though, so that might not slow his momentum that much. We'll see if he does make any contact, maybe with the right rear quarter panel. Just a tad. Yep, just a little bit there. So he's going to have a little bit of right side damage, at least, I think, after making some contact with Angel Olvera. But for the most part, I didn't really see anybody take some hard licks. I would be a little bit concerned about the toe of the 15 as he took a bit of a pounding into the outside wall with the right side of his machine. But for the most part, we didn't really have some hard knocks here in that wreck. So I think all 4 drivers that were involved are going to be able to continue. Let's go back now for the green. Well, Dylan Young is going to start ahead of the field, but he is not the race leader. Dylan Young right now is scored last car on the lead lap in the 41st position as he was trapped a lap down by the pace car. When everybody came to pit road, he stayed out, and so he is still going to be on the lead lap, but he will have the race leaders starting behind him. Carter Joey, on the other hand, the 15, he was on pit road, I think, when we were under green flag conditions coming back for the caution, so he is going to be a lap down when we go back green, and I believe we have a driver out of the race. Yes, we do. The 29 of J Galloway. I'm not exactly certain why he is out of the race. We will attempt to show you, courtesy of the NNSCRA split cam, if we are able to. If we're not able to, then I can assume it might have been some contact on pit road, perhaps, when they were making the pit stops. But tough break there for J Galloway, as he didn't even really get to complete the first 10 laps of this race. We have a new race leader. First off pit road was S Pollard III, so he'll start ahead of Johnny Gardner, Jesse Turner, N Ormond and Z Flickinger here, as the green flag is back in the air. Rest of the top 10 were Matthew Rodriguez, Dallas McIntosh, Wyatt Quail, Justin Thibodeaux, and Adam Garcia. Stephen Pollard III getting held up there by Dylan Young. J Gardner takes advantage, back to the inside. He led the first few laps of the race before we had our first caution. He wants to get back out to the race lead. Stephen Pollard III, though, stubbornly on that outside line, still keeping alongside the 22. Now it looks like he's going to have to lift there out of turn 4 as J Gardner is going to take the top position. Now tries to put Dylan Young down a lap before having to deal with the 15 of Carter Joey, who right now would be on the tail end of the lead lap as well. So the 42 and the 15, they're trying to stay ahead of the 22 and hope and pray for a quick caution, but it doesn't look like it's going to happen. Gardner's going to get past Dylan Young, it looks like, and now sets his sights on Carter Joey. Now Carter Joey's going to hang on, at least for now, and stay on the lead lap. One thing that I just noticed here about the boomerang on the back straightaway is drivers on the outside line gives them a little bit of an advantage on a straightaway because they're actually taking the shorter way around us. We've got a car hitting pit road. That is Adam Garcia in the 10. This cannot be a regularly scheduled stop, I don't think. And we got some other drivers on pit road as well. That is Cody Llamas, Levi McIntyre, Benny Watson, Justin Dearborn, and Jonathan Zoerlein. And they're all coming in for tires. At least I don't think these are regularly scheduled stops, but then again, there's a whole bunch of them coming to pit road. So this might be some strategy now. Drivers thinking that we're going green the rest of the way, and this would put those 6 or 7 drivers in a different strategy, a different pit window than everybody else. As we have a lead change, Z Flickinger going to take the top position away from J Gardner, and I believe that's the first time today that a Chevrolet has led this race. Had a Toyota leading with J Gardner. We had a Dodge leading with Stephen Pollard III, and now a Chevrolet Silverado out in front in Z Flickinger as Jesse Turner now moves to second. Gardner falls back to third. Got a battle here for fourth as those drivers that came to pit road are still sitting on pit lane. So I thought it was some strategy. There's Cody Llamas just now leaving pit road. But it might have been something much more serious than that. As we follow the battle for fifth between the 7 of Wyatt Quail, the 91 of Justin Thibodeaux, and the 21 of N Ormond. Looks like Wyatt Quail has the spot at least for now. Dallas McIntosh back there as well, currently in the 8th position. Then you got a good battle just inside the top 10. There's Z Winkle moving to 8th. Matthew Rodriguez will move up to 9th. And now into 10th place is going to be the 18 of Philip Goldberg. So Llamas, McIntyre, Justin Dearborn, Cody Llamas, Benny Watson, all trapped a lap down, as well as Jonathan Zoerlein. And I'm not certain they can make up that lap back, to be honest with you. It looked like they spent 2 laps on pit road at least. I only saw one truck come off pit road, and that was Cody Llamas. There is Dearborn. There is Zoerlein. Daniel Voyles also must have been on pit road. Zachary Fitzwater, Levi McIntyre, all these drivers running at the back of the pack. There's Watson. A lot of front end damage there on Brad Stover in the 8. The hood's completely gone. The whole front end's completely gone. I almost wonder if maybe that's why we saw J Galloway had retired out of the race. I wonder if those two made contact with each other on pit road. There's Carter Friesen. Looks like he's got a little bit of damage. I think we had some drivers make some contact with each other in pit lane. Is Zoerlein back on pit road? And now Corey Williams in the 5 is on pit lane. Another truck with a lot of damage. Jordan Lopez in the 71, right now scored in the 27th position. So we had some stuff take place off camera. No doubt about that. Corey Williams coming back out on track, as is Jonathan Zoerlein. Looks like Corey Williams, it was a regularly scheduled stop for him as he came in, got tires, and left. But for those others that came down a little bit earlier, I don't think it was regularly scheduled stops for them. Battle for the lead, Jesse Turner. Trying to get to the left rear quarter panel of Z Flickinger. Flickinger able to get that nice run off the corner as now we're starting to see that outside line kick in just a bit. Battle for third, Wyatt Quail marching his way to the front. Trying to bypass J Gardner, Justin Thibodeaux right there as well in fifth. I'm sorry, Jacob Thibodeaux. My apologies, got the first name wrong. Mentioned about the fact that we've got drivers in here with experience in racing NSCRA events, and then we've got other drivers that have limited to no experience, and Jacob Thibodeaux would actually fit the no experience criteria. This is actually his debut in a race that I have commentated here on this channel. If I had to wager a guess, I would say the driver with the most experience of racing on this channel would be right there. Matthew Rodriguez, currently scored in the 11th position. Matt Rod was a part of the NSCRA channel back pretty much from the very beginning, as he was in the Oreo Truck Series, Mobile One Cup Series, and Snickers Cup Series, which were really the three series that were the first ones to run on this channel back in 2011. And if I recall correctly, I believe he was the first ever multi-time champion on this channel as well. He was, his first championship, I remember, came in the Mobile One Cup Series, and I'm pretty sure then his second one came in the Oreo Truck Series. Off the top of my head, I can't remember what truck he drove in the Oreo Truck Series. It might have been the 33 when he won the championship. But I do know that when he won the championship in the Mobile One Cup Series, he was driving the number 25 National Guard Chevrolet. As now he'll lose 11th position to Cole Deaver. Carson Gum right there as well, trying to take 12th place. So Matt Rod's starting to fall back as up here you got a good battle. This is for the 8th position. N Ormond, Z Winkle, and Sebastian Kukulon there in the 0. You can see how both lanes are coming into play now. That inside line gets a good run in the center of the corner from entry. But from the center off, that outside line gets a good run onto the straightaway. N Ormond, though, there through the normal turns of 1 and 2, having to give way to the inside line. Now he'll battle back on the outside there as it's got that shorter way around, and he will hang on to the 9th position. Kukulon still hounding him, though, as he's going to get back to the inside. Let's move back up to the front as that battle for the lead is not over. And we got a good battle here, too. J Gardner going down there trying to block Philip Goldberg. This is for 5th. Looks like Goldberg might take the spot here out of turn 2, and he will have him cleared. Battle for 2nd might be heating up between Wyatt Quail and Jesse Turner. Now, it'll be interesting to see, like I said, for those drivers that came down pit road earlier, like C Llamas, Levi McIntyre, Jonathan Zoerlein, they all spent a long time on pit road. So I don't think, if these drivers come down for green flag pit stops, I don't see that cycling those other drivers around on the tail end of the lead lap unless they are only scored 1 lap down. Right now you got Dylan Young, Carter Joey, all lap down, Corey Williams, Ashlyn Boyd, Benny Watson, Adam Garcia, Carter Friesen. They are all currently 1 lap down. Those other drivers that came to pit road, they find themselves trapped 2 or more laps down, so I don't see them being able to cycle their way back around on the lead lap. When these leaders come to pit road, if they come under green, Cody Lamas is 2 laps down, Zachary Fitzwater's down 2, Levi McIntyre, Daniel Voyles. Down 3 laps is Jonathan Zoerlein, but we saw him have to hit pit road twice under green flag conditions. And also 3 laps down is Justin Dearborn. So those drivers, I think, that are 2 or more laps down, they need a miracle to take place here to be able to get back onto the lead lap and have a shot at this win. And of course, J Galloway, the only truck at this point that is out of the race. But I'm looking at drivers like possibly Corey Williams, who we saw on pit lane. He's trapped a lap down right now, but of course that pit stop he made was under green. I think that maybe, just maybe, he would be able to get his way back onto the lead lap when these leaders have to pit, but he might be the only one. I mean, there is the possibility for drivers as well behind him, like Ashlyn Boyd, Benny Watson, Adam Garcia, and Carter Friesen, but we're going to have to wait and see. And of course, the thing I'm wondering about with Corey Williams, I mean, that did not look like an unscheduled stop for the 5. I think that was a scheduled stop for him, and if that is the case, he might be trying to get himself off pit sequence with these other drivers, and if that's also the case, depending on how far these drivers can go on fuel at the point of when Corey Williams came to pit road, he might be the only driver that's able to make it on maybe 2 more stops, while these other drivers would all have to make possibly 3 pit stops. We had our first caution and our only caution at this point on lap 5. We went back green, I believe it was on lap 8. So when Z Flickinger and company come to pit road, it will give us an idea of what the fuel window really is, and we'll be able to figure out just how many times these drivers are going to have to be on pit lane before the conclusion of this race. And I believe, well, I thought maybe Z Flickinger was starting to slow a little bit there, as he might be coming to pit road this time, and if that were the case, that would put us around 20 laps as far as the fuel window is concerned. But it doesn't look like he is coming to pit lane, so fuel window stretches just the least little bit more. Now, Cody Llamas is not on the lead lap, but remember, he was on pit road not too long after we went back green. And I believe he made a 4-tire stop. And so Cody Llamas, his tire wear is going to be much different than these race leaders, and that's why we're seeing him being able to pass some of these guys like Philip Goldberg and Jesse Turner, and he's starting to run down the race leader. So for Cody Llamas, if he's able to get his way back here to 1 lap down, he could find himself back on the lead lap when the leaders hit pit lane. But he's got to get up there and pass Wyatt Quail and race leader Z Flickinger. And his lap times are infinitely much better. The race leader just ran about a 35 flat. Cody Llamas ran a 34.6. That's 4/10 difference. So he is definitely a lot faster. As we just had an exchange for third, well, maybe not. A couple of dodges side by side, the 18 and the 17. And Philip Goldberg will take the spot from Jesse Turner. That opens up the door for Jacob Thibodeaux to maybe get up here and challenge for 4th place. Talk about some drivers marching their way to the front. How about Cole Deaver? Deaver restarted this race outside of the top 10 when we went back green, and he's now up to the 8th spot, and right behind him, Sebastian Kukulon in the 0. And right now holding down the 10th position is Carson Gum. Those 3 have made their way up into the top 10 and been doing a pretty good job, so don't count them out. There is Carson Gum in that 10th position. Right now 11th, Zach Winkle. 12th, Nathan Ormond. Matthew Rodriguez, 13th. Mitchell Collins there in 14th. And right now, 15th place is Ryan Brommer. Ryan Butcher in 16th. 17th place, Quentin Moore. And here comes a car to pit road from the 18th position. That is Aiden Shepard in the 66th. This looks like a regularly scheduled stop. So is the fuel window open now where these drivers are going to have to start thinking about hitting pit road? We'll have to wait and see. But Aiden Shepard, apparently feeling short pitting is going to aid him. Let's drop back, just see if anybody else hits pit road. Here come a couple more. Kukulon and Carson Gum from 9th and 10th. They are on pit road this time. Kukulon with a little contact there with Jordan Lopez. Mitchell Collins is in. Ryan Butcher. William Brock, Trey Wright, as well as the lap car of Dylan Young. Austin LaPlante is in as well as Cody Smart. Here comes J Jefferson, 26th place in the 13. And here comes the race leader. Flickinger is in, followed by Wyatt Quail and Philip Goldberg. So after all this, I think the race lead's going to cycle around to Corey Williams, if he does indeed stay out. And dependent on where he is. Let's find the 5. There he is. He is now on the lead lap. Let's see if he's able to get ahead of these drivers on pit road. Now remember, he's off pit sequence with these guys though. So he's going to be having to hit pit road again in a brief moment. This time he jumped up to 15th place. And we'll see after everybody that had to come to pit road where he cycles out. He's going to come out ahead of J Gardner. Looks like he's going to pass Philip Goldberg. Goldberg was third. So he might be up as high as third place. Maybe he'll have the race lead. We'll see. And with when those drivers came to pit road, more specifically, the race leader at the time, Z Flickinger, that means that the fuel window is roughly about 26 laps. And if my calculations are to be believed, that means that these drivers will be on pit road at least one more time, maybe twice. Corey Williams, though, depending on how far he can go, well, actually, they will have to hit pit road at least twice, maybe three times. With where Corey Williams is at, I think he'll have to hit pit road at least twice as well. Now, he is not the race leader. He's in the 4th position. Let's see where he crosses this time. Now in 3rd. Z Flickinger did manage to get out ahead of him, it looks like, according to the scoring. If we can find the 2. Philip Goldberg's back on pit road in the 18. There's the car that was scored the race leader, Angel Olvera. He just made a pit stop. So where is the 2 of Flickinger? There he is. He's still being scored the race leader. And it's across the line. He is indeed the race leader. Corey Williams, that's the only car he could not pass. And he's way back here. He actually is losing positions now. Wyatt Quail just went by him. J Gardner's passing him. Yeah, now you see the benefit of the drivers that just came to pit road, getting the fresh rubber against Corey Williams' older good years. Corey Williams going, looks like a couple miles per hour slower through these corners. They're just driving by him like he's almost standing still. But that certainly shuffled up the top 10 as well, as right there is 2nd place Mitchell Collins, who is about 6.5 seconds back from the race leader, Z Flickinger. That time by, though, he cut it down by 0.2. Battle is on here. Well, actually, no, it's not. Thought the battle was on for 3rd, but Wyatt Quail is currently trapped a lap down. Sebastian Kukulon is now in 3rd place. J Gardner currently in 4th. 5th place is Dallas McIntosh. 6th is William Brock, as he just made the pass for 6th on Z Winkle. Move Winkle back to 7th. 8th place right now is a little contact there between Ryan Butcher and Daniel Voyles, as Butcher currently scored in the 8th spot. 9th place currently is Corey Williams, and completing your top 10 would be Ryan Brommer. 11th place is Stephen Pollard III. LaPlante is now in 12th. Angel Olvera in 13th place after we saw Olvera go for a spin, bringing out our first caution, so a good comeback for the 44 team. 14th place right now is Aiden Shepard, who was one of the first we saw hit pit road to start the cycle of green flag pit stops. 15th is Zach Rogers. He just took the spot. 16th, I believe, would be Carson Gums. 17th, Jesse Turner. I'm going to wait till Rogers crosses the line because they have it not scored correctly right now. There we go. Now he's in 15th. Oh, it was because Ashlyn Boyd hit pit road. So 16th place now is Carson Gums. 17th is Jesse Turner. And I believe he's the last car on the lead lap. He is. 18th place is Jacob Thibodeaux. Cole Devers back down now, a lap down in 19th. Nathan Ormond in 20th. Matthew Rodriguez 21st. 22nd is Jordan Lopez. 23rd is Wyatt Quail, who we saw was trapped a lap down now. Carter Friesen 24th. Dylan Young 25th. 26th is Quentin Moore. 27th, Trey Wright. Cody Smartin 28th. 29th place is Brad Stover. Carter Joey is 30th. 31st, Cody Llamas. 32nd, Benny Watson. 33rd is J Jefferson. 34th, Adam Garcia. 35th, Ashlyn Boyd. Zachary Fitzwater's 36th, Levi McIntyre 37th, 38th is Jonathan Zoerlein. Daniel Voyles is 39th. Justin Dearborn is in 40th, and joining J Galloway in the garage area is the 18 of Philip Goldberg, who was up inside of the top 5 just before that cycle of green flag pit stops. So pit road, I think, is definitely played a factor into the outcome of today's race for sure. We've seen drivers limping their way around the track with damage. A couple of drivers, Jordan Lopez and Brad Stover, don't even have any front ends on their trucks. And 2 drivers out of the race, Jake Galloway and Philip Goldberg, who I have to assume sustained damage on pit lane. I mean, we saw just how tight the pit boxes are when we saw a number of our leaders hitting pit road. Can't remember who it was, but I believe it was Ryan Butcher in the 03, made contact with somebody while trying to pull into his pit stall. And I saw a couple of drivers have to check up to avoid running into the back of each other, whether exiting or entering into their pit stalls. So definitely, I think that pit road has done its fair share of playing a factor into who's going to end up winning this race as well. And right now, it is all Z Flickinger. Almost 7 seconds in hand, back to second place, and a number of lap machines here too who are running just inside of the top 20. N Ormond and Jacob Thibodeaux, Matthew Rodriguez, and Cole Deaver. This is the battle for second place here, as Mitchell Collins holds that second spot. And then you go a ways back here before you get to a good battle going on for third. J Gardner, Dallas McIntosh, William Brock, Sebastian Kukulon, and Z Winkle. That is third on back through 7th. And R Brommer back there in a battle for 8th place with Ryan Butcher. There that is. And then a few trucks back is where you find 10th place right now. Stephen Pollard III with Angel Olvera trying to run him down. Great comeback there for the 44. As he's battling side by side here with the lap car of Carter Joey. And those were the 2 whose contact triggered the first and only wreck that we've had today as far as bringing out a caution. So how ironic that about 40 laps later we see them racing side by side, although one is on the lead lap and the other one is currently trapped 1 lap down. Olvera now on the back bumper of SP3 for the 10th position. This is the best battle on track right now, at least closer to the front of the field. J Gardner, Dallas McIntosh, little contact maybe right there. McIntosh might have gotten Gardner in the left rear quarter panel, moving him up the track just a bit. So if my calculations are correct, we will see these drivers back on pit road somewhere around lap 60. And then they'll have to pit again somewhere around lap 86 to 88, which will put us within 10 laps to go. And I'm wondering when that 5 of Corey Williams is going to have to pit. Carter Friesen's just now pitting. There's Corey Williams. Oh, I think he's already pitted. He's now back. He's now down in 33rd. But I'm thinking, let's just speculate here, just for a brief moment. I don't know when Corey Williams hit pit road, but depending on how much further he was able to go than the rest of the leaders, boy, I almost wonder if Corey Williams might be able to make it on one more stop and have enough fuel to get to the checkers. Everybody else, I think, if we don't have the aid of a yellow flag, are going to have to pit at least twice. But Corey Williams, if he, put it this way, if he pitted about 7 laps later than all those race leaders did, I think he can make it on one more pit stop. Now we saw, when he came off pit road, he was not ahead of Z Flickinger. So that's the only car, or truck in this case, that he really has to worry about. As Flickinger continues to lay down solid lap times, and he continues to grow the distance between himself and the second place car of Mitchell Collins. Collins, on the other hand, is having to start to now deal with traffic, as he's about to catch the lap truck of Dylan Young, and then he's got about 6 or 7 more trucks to deal with before he can even think about getting up there and battling with Z Flickinger. That last time by, he was a 10th slower than Flickinger, Bear in mind, though, Flickinger's got pretty clean racetrack ahead of him. So that clean air definitely comes into play in laying down good lap times. First car he would have to encounter is Carson Gum, who has now slipped back to last car on the lead lap in the 16th position. And Carson's about maybe a little less than a straightaway ahead of Zach Flickinger. And Carson Gum and Zach Flickinger are running about the same lap times as well. As a matter of fact, Carson Gum was about a tenth quicker, about a tenth and a half quicker than Zach Flickinger that last time by. So, doesn't look like Flickinger is going to have to deal with traffic anytime soon. I really think that the thing he's going to have to worry most about is pit road. Looking at Matthew Rodriguez, he is the first car one lap down, and he's actually running lap times faster than Zach Flickinger, so he might have thoughts about getting up here and racing his way back onto the lead lap. His time by 34.9 for Flickinger, Matt Rod 34.7, 2/10 quicker. And I thought for a moment we might be under caution as Matt Rod really got out of the throttle there through turns 1 and 2. But you can see these guys are starting to close in on the 2 car. And I'm trying to figure out why the Zach Flickinger would be going so much slower than these other guys. I mean, Matthew Rodriguez starting to run him down. It almost looks like some of these guys as well are starting to reel him in. N Ormond, Jacob Thibodeaux, Adam Garcia, Cole Deaver. All trying to race their way back onto the tail end of the lead lap is now Justin Dearborn on the back bumper of Matthew Rodriguez. This is not for position. Rodriguez is in 17th. Dearborn is, I believe, 3 laps down in the 40th position, so it's not for position at all. And Matt Rod consistently 2/10 quicker each lap than Flickinger. Flickinger all of a sudden is down in the 35-second lap times, whereas Matt Rod is still in the 34.8s. So either the handling is going away or the grip is going away for Flickinger. Regardless of the fact, though, it is not in any way helping second place Mitchell Collins. There is Collins, who is also right now scoring in the 35-second lap times. A 35.1 last time by almost a 35.2. And that's affecting him because running 34.8s is Dallas McIntosh, who has now reeled him in for second place. So if McIntosh can get around Mitchell Collins, will we start to see the gap between first and second start to be chipped away? William Brock, a great run there for the 60. He's now moved his way past J Gardner up into 4th place. We saw this earlier where J Gardner had a good truck at the early going, but as the run went on, he started to fade back. Looks like that's happening again here as we get longer into this run. And we're nearing the point where the fuel window opens up again. About lap 60 to 62 is when we can expect to see the leaders back on pit road, as the battle on for second between McIntosh and Collins. And if McIntosh is able to indeed clear and take the spot, which looks like he will do off of turn number 2, now we'll see if he will be able to start to reel in Zach Flickinger. Crossover there by Mitchell Collins. Not going to be able to do it, though. He got really tight there on entry, had to lift. Going to be a lot of traffic still to deal with for Dallas McIntosh as Matthew Rodriguez now hounding Zach Flickinger. Look at Justin Dearborn, 2 tires down on the apron. I don't know what he's doing. But Matt Rod wants back on the tail end of the lead lap. And he's willing to race Zach Flickinger for it as they're starting to catch up to slower traffic. That's Cody Smart in the 31 just up ahead. Now we saw McIntosh made the pass on Collins for second. And are we under caution? No, we're not, but boy, the 2 took a very interesting line into that corner. I think he's coming to pit road. I think he tried to get to the inside line because I think he's coming to pit lane, actually. Oh my goodness, look at this. Almost 3 wide into turn 3. Uh-oh, if Flickinger was trying to come to pit road, he just got boxed out by Justin Dearborn. Looks like he's going to get through it safely, but boy, there's some... I don't know why, but it looks like there's something wrong with that truck. Looks like he's trying to get out of everybody's way. Well, I'm looking at the ticker, and boy, yeah, 0.8 of a second was cut down that time between Zach Flickinger and Dallas McIntosh. There's the 16. Still a long ways back, though. But he has gapped himself back to 3rd place, which now is William Brock. I believe we may have ended up having Mitchell Collins. Well, did Collins come to pit road? He's now scored an 8th. Did he just fall back, or did he come to pit road? I think he came to pit road. And here come a lot more of the leaders. Brock is in, Gardner's in, Zach Winkle. Flickinger also pitting. LaPlante is in. There's Zach Rogers, Stephen Pollard III from the 10th position pitting. And now we got to see how Zach Flickinger is going to do as far as his pit crew. That turns the race lead, I believe, over to the 16 of Dallas McIntosh. And we'll see when McIntosh decides to hit pit road. I also want to keep tabs on the 5 of Corey Williams, because his magic number for coming to pit lane to be able to make it the rest of the way on fuel, I believe, is... I want to say 69? If he can make it past lap 69, I think he's good to go on fuel. Gotta work the calculator here in my head. Yeah, I think if he can make it, like maybe to lap 70, 75 before coming to pit road, I think Corey Williams is only going to have to make that one pit stop, and I think he'll be good to go the rest of the way. Is now the race leader Dallas McIntosh on pit road. Looking for Angel Olvera. There he is. He's going to hit pit lane from the 3rd position, and that turns the race lead over, I believe, to the 11 of Ryan Brommer. Nope, Brommer's actually already been on pit lane. So where is the 5 of Corey Williams? There he is. We'll see where this cycles him around now. See, he's going to currently be scored in 20th. We got to keep waiting for the ticker to update itself, unless he had a much longer pit stop than we originally knew. We're going to have to wait and see about that. I mean, if he did have a longer pit stop the last time he came to pit road, then that might take him out of the equation. But I think we have to wait for the ticker to continue to update itself here before we find out just exactly where Corey Williams finds himself slotted. That time he jumped from 20th up to 16th. He's got J Gardner behind him. This is actually for position. So if we were to speculate based off of where Gardner was when the pit stops began, Gardner was in the 6th position. So I think that would put Corey Williams somewhere up inside the top 5 with the cycling of the pit stops, or at least up inside the top 10. So I don't know if Corey Williams is going to be able to win this race. He'll be able to possibly get a top 10 out of it if indeed he's going to be able to make it around lap 69 before coming to pit road. But we're just going to have to wait and see how it all shakes out. Well, Mitchell Collins, according to the scoring, came out ahead of Zach Flickinger, and currently is your race leader. There he is. He's got rear end damage, though. Just made his way around the lap car of Noah Dearborn. There's Cole Deaver, who's the first car lap down in 18th. Jesse Turner there as well, and there's Corey Williams. Oh, Corey's about to go a lap down here. I think he was just then the last car on the lead lap, and now he's getting passed for position by Turner. He's about to get passed for position by Cole Deaver, and now Turner and Deaver want to get back on the lead lap. They're going to try and pass Mitchell Collins. So Collins does have the race lead. 2 seconds now in hand over Zach Flickinger. So either Flickinger made a mistake coming to pit road, or his pit crew made a mistake on pit road. But whatever the case, it lost him valuable time, and as a consequence, the race lead And he may lose more than that because William Brock now in third is starting to reel him in for the runner-up spot. Right now, Z Winkle is in the fourth spot. We saw Dallas McIntosh had a good long-run truck. Oh, we're under caution. And that's going to shake things up, too. Caution is out, and Cole Deaver, Corey Williams, and others, they were almost able to stay on the lead lap, and they're going to be trapped a lap down. And now this is interesting, because we already established the fuel window is about 26 laps. And lap 69 would have been the lap these drivers would have to make it in order to make it on fuel. Do these drivers come to pit road? They'd be about 2 to 3 laps short if they come to pit road now. And it looks like Mitchell Collins is going to try. So these drivers, they're going to pit now and then try to save to make it the rest of the way on fuel. Remember, they're going to have a couple of caution laps here as well to try and save some fuel. So this caution may have very well just put these drivers in their fuel window to make it the rest of the way. And we are going to have 16 lucky drivers that are going to be on the lead lap, including, look at that, Dylan Young. Right now in 15th, he is the last car, or not the last car, he is the next to last car on the lead lap. And remember, he was involved in the wreck that brought out the first caution. Same for Angel Olvera in the 44. Mitchell Collins, I'm not so sure about a gas and go there as he's down and away. That's going to make it interesting, although bear in mind that they had already been on pit road just a few laps before, so they may have just topped him off. We'll see if that happens to play out in his favor or not. Caution is out, though, here for the second time today at Trenton. Let's go back and see what happened. This is a battle around the 24th position between lap trucks, and wow, that's Quentin Moore into the right rear quarter panel of Cody Llamas, and look at the impact they both make. 451 went straight up into the outside wall. The 4 of Quentin Moore riding the wall as Llamas is on his roof. And then Quentin Moore, car gets back over onto its side and begins to barrel roll. Wow, that was a near miss for Austin LaPlante. And Llamas' car is going to drift down into the racing line as well. Anybody going to hit him, though? Oh, boy, this is not good. Oh, there's Aiden Shepard. He's going to avoid. Looks like everybody might be able to avoid him before Llamas teleports to pit road. But they were running in the 24th and 25th position at the time, were Quentin Moore and Cody Llamas. And a battle for position goes wrong, exiting the boomerang. And a scary hit and a wild ride for both Quentin Moore and Cody Llamas. And that puts us under the caution for the second time here today and sets us up for what could be a very interesting finish of this race. So as we get ready to restart, this is going to be very interesting because there are more than 10 laps to go, which means you see all those trucks on the inside line trapped a lap down, many of them still up to speed. They will restart ahead of Mitchell Collins. And if we get ourselves another quick caution, if they can find themselves ahead of the race leader Collins, they could be back on the lead lap and still have a shot at maybe getting up into the top 10, potentially for this win. We're going to have to wait and see. It'll be Collins, the race leader. He came off pit road first after a gas and go strategy. Angel Olvera will line up in second. Third place will be Z Flickinger, who seemed to have the dominant car of the day. Ryan Butcher's now up to fourth. Z Winkle fifth, and it's Dallas McIntosh, Ryan Brommer. Matthew Rodriguez now up in eighth. Austin LaPlante, who had that near miss, is ninth. And completing your top 10 is William Brock. Rest of the cars that are currently on the lead lap: Sebastian Kukal on 11th, Aiden Shepard 12th. 13th place Carson Gum, 14th is J Gardner, 15th Dylan Young, 16th is Jesse Turner, and right now Benny Watson is 17th, last truck on the lead lap, starting on the outside line there ahead of the race leader, Mitchell Collins, as the green flag is back in the air with 25 laps to go. That's Jacob Thibodeaux, Cole Deaver down there on the inside line, Stephen Pollard III, Corey Williams. All these drivers are up to speed. Collins going to find himself a little bit of a space there to be able to maneuver, at least for the moment. Right now it would be Benny Watson and Jacob Thibodeaux that are hoping and praying for a quick yellow flag on this lap, so that way they could be back on the tail end of the lead lap. Here comes Cole Deaver trying to get himself back on the tail end of the lead lap now as he's to the left rear quarter panel of the race leader Mitchell Collins. And if If Cole Deaver can make the move down there, that opens up the door for maybe Z Flickinger, who just made the move for second on A Olvera, to try and go for the race lead. Oh, car on the wall! That was Stephen Pollard III, and we've got some spinners. Ryan Butcher's around. Oh, we got a car upside down. Caution is out. And Watson and Thibodeaux are going to be ahead of the leader, Mitchell Collins. They're going to be back on the lead lap. Here comes a big run for Flickinger. Oh, we got another spinner. They saved it, though. Angel Olvera, Corey Williams nearly wrecked it off turn 4. They kept it together, though. Caution is out for the third time today. And the first time today, we see the boomerang come into play with a wreck. And there was a truck upside down and flipping. I think it was SP3, but I'm not certain. It was a Dodge, I know that. And a big break for drivers like Thibodeaux and Benny Watson, but Carson Gum, who was on the lead lap, smoking, and his day is done. Both the Germain Toyotas are involved. Ryan Butcher is out of the race as well, and they were both running up inside of the top 15. Carter Friesen is involved. There's the truck I think I saw flipping. Stephen Pollard III. Nathan Ormond back here might have been involved. A lot of damage on Z Winkle. He was on the lead lap. Wyatt Quail's badly damaged. Sebastian Kukulon and Matthew Rodriguez, they were running in 11th and 12th. They're on pit road with damage. And all of a sudden, as the race starts to draw to a close, the aggressiveness amps up, and we're starting to see what risks these drivers are willing to take now for a chance of winning today's special event. Mitchell Collins still the race leader. Let's go back and see what happened in the boomerang for our third caution of the day. Well, I hope we can get a good camera angle here through the boomerang. Watch the 47. You can see him there, top of the top line there, and it looks like, boy, that truck just drifted up. And there you see him into the wall. I believe it's Z Winkle gets him in the left rear quarter panel. There's where Ryan Butcher gets collected. And then there's just nowhere for anyone to go. The track's completely blockaded up. And we'll see if we can see where the hits come from. Looks like J Gardner might have gotten into Stephen Pollard III. There's the shot that flipped the 47 over. And that was courtesy of Aiden Shepard, another driver who was running on the lead lap. Carson Gum hits his teammate Ryan Butcher, who I think got hit earlier by, I think that was Wyatt Quail in the 7. And there you see the 15 of Carter Joey as well getting involved. Let's see if we can get a better camera angle. I don't really know what the spectator cam looks like here through this section. But wow, Pollard with a hit there. Let's see what the spectator cam looks like. Nah, it's not that great. And TV1's not going to give us, I don't think, as close of a view as we want. Let's go with the helicopter cam, why don't we? Get a better idea of who was involved in the wreck. There you see Pollard. The truck just never turned. And Z Winkle gets into him, down into Ryan Butcher. And watch how it blocks the track up. These three trucks. There's no inside, outside, or middle lane to be able to avoid. Little contact there for the 13 of J Jefferson. And then watch the 66 of Aiden Shepard right here. Oh, he didn't have any choice. Carter Joey ran into the back of him and pushed him into Stephen Pollard III. And there you see further up, that is Carson Gum, Sebastian Kukulon. I think that was Daniel Voyles got into the back of the 0 and forced him into the wreck. Carter Friesen involved as well. There is Matthew Rodriguez. And we got a smoking truck there. That's Cody Smart in the 31. There you see Nathan Ormond spinning down to the grass, and he's going to get some more contact from Wyatt Quail as they both spun down into the infield grass area. Tell you, did a nice job avoiding that wreck, and that was Zach Rogers in the 08. But that is what brings out the caution for the third time today, and I can't believe the 47 is still running after flipping upside down in the boomerang back straightaway. But that is going to bring out the yellow flag, and a number of drivers like Carson Gum, Ryan Butcher, Z Winkle, they were all running on the lead lap with a chance at a top 15 finish at least And it looks like their days are going to be over, or at least their chances of winning this race are going to be over. And we're going to have to see what it sets us up with now as we get down to the close of today's race. Here we go then, as we get set to go back racing. There will be 18 laps to go. Mitchell Collins still the race leader over Z Flickinger, Angel Olvera, Dallas McIntosh, Ryan Brommer. Green flag back in the air. We do have more drivers out of the race after everything we saw take place. Z Winkle is out of the race, Stephen Pollard III, Ryan Butcher, Carter Joey, Cody Smart, of course Quentin Moore and Cody Llamas, who brought out our second caution out of the race, joining Philip Goldberg and J Galloway. It'll take some time for the scoring to update itself, so we have a number of drivers 1, 2, 3, and 4 laps down. Cole Deaver will now race his way back onto the tail end of the lead lap. Corey Williams trying to do the same. Deaver in 15th, Williams in 16th. 3 wide back here. Ashland Boyd down on the bottom. T Wright in the middle. Z Flickinger got sent to the top side, and he's going to lose second and third place to Ryan Brommer and Dallas McIntosh. And he may lose more. Now, 2 drivers that were aided by that yellow flag were Jacob Thibodeaux and Benny Watson. There they are. 13th place for Watson. 14th place for Thibodeaux. I believe actually now they're 11th and 12th. We'll wait for the scoring to update itself. As they cross the line, actually 12th and 13th. 12th for Watson, 13th for Thibodeaux. But they're back on the lead lap. So they've got a shot to get up here into the top 10. Matthew Rodriguez, saw him have a little bit of contact with that wreck as Fitzwater's in the wall. But he's still running in 11th place. William Brock right now in the 10th position. Jesse Turner in 9th. Right now, Angel Olvera is in 8th. He just lost 7th to J Gardner, who now is trying to take 6th from Z Flickinger, who is starting to fade back. And how about Austin LaPlante up here now in the late stages? He's in 5th. And Dylan Young is up to 2nd, and he's taking the race lead. Dylan Young, who was involved in the first caution of the day, he's now battling with Ryan Brommer side by side for the top position. Dallas McIntosh and Austin LaPlante are in this mix as well. Cole Deaver, Corey Williams, they're praying for a caution. They want to stay on the lead lap, and now Dylan Young going to get alongside of Cole Deaver, try and put him back down off the lead lap. What a comeback day for Dylan Young, who was involved in a wreck back on lap 5. Was our first caution of the day. He found himself trapped a lap down early as a result. Managed to battle his way back, got a couple of lucky cautions, and now he's the leader of this race with about 15 laps to go. Ryan Brommer right there though in 2nd, and he got a nice run off of turn 4. Will he be able to maybe make a move down here into turn 1? And I'll tell you what, Z Flickinger has had the strongest car of the day, it seems, but then as we got into the second half of this race, it's been all Dallas McIntosh who's really shown his strength. And I think he might have something for these top 2 as J Gardner slipped up the track there. He's going to fade back a little bit, and now he'll be under fire for 5th from Jesse Turner. Ryan Brommer trying to take the lead from Dylan Young. McIntosh right there as well. You've got Corey Williams on the tail end of the lead lap in the 15th position ahead of this battle. Trying to keep himself on the tail end of the lead lap. Drag race between Brommer and Dylan Young. Dylan Young leads this lap. If a caution comes out before the conclusion of this race, then it's going to make it very interesting as to who's going to be up here in the hunt for this win, because we are nearing 10 laps to go, which means it would be single file restart with lap cars and lead lap cars alike lining up in whatever position they cross the start finish line in. Ryan Brommer now trying to get himself clearly to the lead as he's trying to use the 5 of Corey Williams as a pick. Here comes Dallas McIntosh though in the 16. Is he thinking about 3 wide? We've seen it work here in the last couple of laps, especially back on the restart. He might try and do it here through the boomerang. Peeking out to the outside. That's actually the outside that he's peeking to there when he goes to the extreme inside of the boomerang, right in the center. But he'll follow in the tire tracks, at least for right now, of the 11. 11 sponsored by pitnow.com, but that's not what he's thinking about. He's not thinking about pitting now. He wants to win this thing. Braking hard into turn 1. Dallas McIntosh trying to get to the left rear quarter panel of R Brommer. Dylan Young right there in third as now Corey Williams finds himself trapped a lap down once again. Johnny Gardner right now in the 4th spot. Then you got a battle for 5th brewing here between Jesse Turner and Austin LaPlante. Zach Flickinger, who had the strong truck early on, now finds himself mired back in 7th, and it just doesn't seem like that truck's got the speed it had at the beginning of this race. Angel Olvera there in 8th place. We talked about Dylan Young with a comeback after being involved in the first caution of the day. Angel Olvera, same deal, was in the first wreck of the day and up inside of the top 10. Mitchell Collins faded back there after starting up front on that last restart. Now back to 9th. And how about Jacob Thibodeaux? Got the aid of that caution, was out in front of the race leader, got back in the lead lap, and he's now up inside of the top 10. Benny Watson there as well in the 11th position, so a great comeback for the 91 and the 28. As now Flickinger wanted to get back up there towards the front, thought about 3 wide on Levi McIntyre and Cole Deaver, not going to be able to get there. Jesse Turner now side by side for the 5th position with Austin LaPlante. This going on quite a ways back from the 3 race leaders, who are separated by only about 0.2. McIntosh, Dylan Young, and R Brommer. And this time by, it will be 8 laps to go as we now get single file. Johnny Gardner right there in 4th. Remember, we saw in the last 2 green flag runs, as the run went on, the handling on the truck went away. Maybe they made an adjustment where he's settled in for the long run. We'll see if he can reel in these top 3 and maybe be a factor late. The top 4 are all single file. Then you got the lap truck of Corey Williams, then a side-by-side battle for 5th between Turner and LaPlante. Then you got some more lap trucks of Ashlyn Boyd and Levi McIntyre before you get back there to Zach Flickinger. So right now, it is 4 drivers with a shot really of winning this race. It all comes down to who has the better truck. McIntosh in a Chevrolet, Dylan Young in a Ford, and then a couple of Toyotas in R Brommer and Johnny Gardner. Dylan Young appears to have a little bit better straightaway speed than Dallas McIntosh, but McIntosh seems to gap him in the corners. Dylan Young going about a half groove higher than Dallas McIntosh, especially through 3 and 4, maybe trying to get a better run off of turn 4 to get that straightaway speed. And then he goes right back down to the bottom in turns 1 and 2. That last time by, McIntosh ran a 34.5. Dylan Young also a 34.5. They separated by about 8 1/1000ths in terms of their lap times. The fastest of the top 3 was R Brommer with a 5.01. And Johnny Gardner ran a 5.06. So 3rd and 4th were faster than 1st and 2nd that last time by. But they're also running out of time as it will be 5 laps to go here at Trenton. Look at Dylan Young drive it down deep into turn 1. And lets it drift off the corner through turn 2, trying to get the high line run off of turn 2 and onto the back straightaway. That last time by, he was 2 1/100ths faster than the race leader Dallas McIntosh. Right here in 3 and 4 seems to be where he struggles. You can see right there, he loses ground from the center of 3 and 4 off. He's really good in 1 and 2, but McIntosh is better in 3 and 4, as there's 4 laps to go. Got traffic to deal with. That's Jordan Lopez in the 71. And he could be a factor late, especially if they catch him down here into 3. Oh, look out! Whoa! Lopez pinching down on the door of the 16. But McIntosh is going to get away, and Dylan Young's not going to be quite as lucky. He is going to clear the 71, but I think he might have lost a little bit of ground to McIntosh there through turn 4. Brommer clears the lap truck, as does Johnny Gardner. The top 4 separated by less than a second. 2.5 laps to go. McIntosh just trying to hit his marks. Dylan Young trying to see what he can do that's a little bit different. to try and gain some time. That last time by, McIntosh was 3/100ths faster. We'll see what the lap times are between the two this time by, as it'll be 2 laps to go. You can visibly see that Dylan Young is losing some ground to McIntosh, who this time by ran an 8:18. Dylan Young an 8:53, 4/100ths slower. Look at him right there through this corner, run a half groove higher. Oh, looked like he couldn't quite put the pedal down as quickly as he wanted to. He's going to have to make something happen here in 3 and 4 to get close enough to make a move in 1 and 2, because that's where he's been better than McIntosh. If he can't close in here to at least get onto the back bumper into 1 and 2, I think McIntosh has this win. The white flag displayed, 1 more lap to go for the 16. Here comes Dylan Young driving it in deep into 1 and 2. But remember, he's been better in 1 and 2. McIntosh has been so much better through 3 and 4. Still about a truck length and a half, maybe 2 truck lengths down the boomerang for Dallas McIntosh back to Dylan Young. Dylan Young going to have to drive it in deep here in 3 and 4. Can he at least get a run off of turn 4? There you see the 16 accelerate through the center. He will start to pull away out of turn 4, and seeing the checkered flag winning the 8th anniversary of the NNSCRA Sports Channel on YouTube special event is Dallas McIntosh in the 16. Dallas McIntosh, who came alive around the halfway point of this race as he was able to get second place from Mitchell Collins and started to chip away at then race leader Z Flickinger's advantage. You started to realize that they had made an adjustment on that truck that really seemed to be to McIntosh's liking. And after that, it was all about getting track position, and he worked his way up to the front and never looked back. And it will be Dallas McIntosh taking the checkered flag here today in the NNSCRA 8th anniversary special event race at Trenton. Dylan Young, though, what a tremendous comeback for that driver, being involved in the first caution of the day and bringing it home to finish in the second position. Ryan Brommer, a great run in third. J Gardner in fourth. And Jesse Turner, we saw him in that battle with LaPlante for fifth. He got it. LaPlante will have to settle for sixth. The dominant car first half of this race, Z Flickinger, finds himself back in seventh. Mitchell Collins, who led us to our last restart, finishes eighth. And Benny Watson and Jacob Thibodeaux, who were both a lap down at around 20 laps to go, got the aid of a quick caution, were ahead of the leaders at the time, raced their way back onto the tail end of the lead lap, and finished in the top 10 in 9th and 10th position. And only 14 trucks managed to finish on the lead lap. Matthew Rodriguez 11th, William Brock 12th, Sebastian Kukulon 13th, and Angel Olvera, who brought out our first caution of the day, finishes in 14th place. Corey Williams he was off pit sequence for most of the race, almost had it work out where he'd have been able to get himself back onto the tail end of the lead lap, but he'll finish the first truck one lap down in 15th. Ashland Boyd 16th, Cole Deaver, Zachary Fitzwater, Zach Rogers, and Adam Garcia, your top 20. That's actually a pretty good comeback finish for Zachary Fitzwater, who I think at one point was 3 laps down in the 30s. So for him to finish in the top 20, that was a pretty good comeback for him. His finish could have been a lot worse. N Ormond was 21st, J Jefferson 22nd, Wyatt Quail, Carter Friesen, Jordan Lopez, your top 25. And then you look on down through the remainder of the finishing results, and a lot of this was a result of drivers having some damage after contact with others on pit road. Some of them as well getting trapped a lap down after untimely cautions. And of course, those green flag pit stops also came to play in trapping some drivers off the lead lap. The rest of the drivers that actually finished were Jonathan Zoerlein, Daniel Voyles, Brad Stover, Trey Wright, Levi McIntyre, and Justin Dearborn. And then out of the race after 3 cautions here today were the cars of Z Winkle, Stephen Pollard III, Aiden Shepard, Carson Gum, Ryan Butcher, Carter Joey, Cody Smart, Quentin Moore, Cody Llamas, Philip Goldberg, and Jake Galloway. But that is going to do it here today from Trenton. I'd forgotten just how good this track was. What amazing racing we had during the course of this 95-lap event. And Dallas McIntosh, right place, right time, had a strong truck, and he goes to victory lane here today. Hope you guys enjoyed today's race. If you did, be sure to give this video a like, subscribe, become part of the crew today. Thank you so much for making this channel a success, as we have now reached the 8-year mark on YouTube. It's been an unbelievable ride. I appreciate all the support that you guys have given. whether it be signing up for video or for races, for series, the support you give in watching, the support you give in subscribing. Just cannot thank you guys enough. You know, I thought that YouTube was going to be just like a hobby, and it's been a hobby still, but I put a lot more effort into it now than I did back when I started, and the big reason is because of you guys and the support you guys give. So thank you guys so much. Looking forward to what's going to be happening here in the future of the channel. Of course, there's a lot of clouds kind of hindering the view of what this channel is going to be presenting to you guys later on in the year, but at least for the time that I know that I'm still going to be doing YouTube here, looking forward to what's going to be happening here and continuing on the channel, and hope you guys enjoyed the better frames as you guys enjoyed the first race here on my new computer. But anyway, thank you guys so much for tuning in, and thank you again for 8 great years here on YouTube of your support. And I will see you guys later as you've been watching yet another production of the NNSCRA Offline Racing at its best.